Okay, so we will start. So welcome to the August 5th, 2021 West Sacramento Planning Commission meeting. We continue to meet via teleconference pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20, by which members of the Planning Commission and staff are participating via live video conference to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Members of the public have been invited to watch the meeting via wave cable on our local channel 20, streaming online through the city's website or through the Zoom platform. Tonight's agenda and all agenda item materials are available on the city's website on the Planning Commission page. All public comments submitted by 5 p.m. via email to the Planning Commission clerk are available for consideration and are posted on the city website, so that all commissioners and community members can see the complete text and submittal information. Members of the public participating via Zoom may also provide oral comments. The Planning Commission clerk will note the commenters for each item and will notify you when it's your turn to speak. Okay, with that, we'll proceed to tonight's agenda. First up is presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the commission.
We have no written comment. I do know we have a few callers on the line. If anybody wishes to speak for public comment, please speak up.
Yeah, I recognize the names as being associated with the two projects.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move to part 1B, correspondence and staff communications from the Planning Commission Secretary.
Yes, I actually have one very cool and exciting thing to announce for the Planning Commission this evening. With us on the call tonight is our brand new Community Development Director, Andrea Aus. She just started this week, so she's already been to closed session, City Council, and now Planning Commission, all in her first week. So nothing like jumping right in head first, but we're very excited that she's here. And I'm certain that she'll be contributing to our work at the Planning Commission as time goes by, and we bring various items before the Planning Commission. So she is on the horn tonight. Andrea, if do you want to say a word or two to the Planning Commission?
Thank you, David. And I should add that I also attended the TMI Commission this week on day one.
Triple header then.
So I have my e-ticket punched already, for those of you old enough to know what that is. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, for this. I and David for the introduction. I am thrilled to be here as a member of the Community Development Department and the city organization. I have relocated from the Bay Area after being there for 25 years or so. Can't believe it's been that long. But I have friends and family in the Sacramento area, have always been a big fan of West Sac, and I'm thrilled to pieces to be part of this community's continued success. So I came up through the planning ranks, so I have a special place in my heart for those of you that serve as planning commissioners. And so I thank you for the service to the city. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Madam Chair or David. Thank you.
It was all the correspondence I had tonight, but I wanted to get that in. That's important for us as we begin with Andrea heading our ship. So that's all for correspondence, Chair Salon.
Thank you, and welcome aboard. Excited to have you. Okay, so we'll move to part 1C, disclosure of ex parte communication. Do any of the commissioners have anything to disclose? Not seeing any hands. So we'll move to the consent agenda. Consideration and approval of the minutes from the July 15th, 2021 commission meeting. So, do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
We have a motion from Commissioner DeAnda.
And I'll
second.
Hi. Was that
I defer to Commissioner Steger.
okay, Commissioner Steger second. Mr. Mearsbeck, can you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Esquivel, Mr. Lockhart?
Aye.
Commissioner DeAnda?
Aye.
Commissioner Seeger?
Aye.
Commissioner Berliner?
Abstain?
Chair Sablon?
Aye. With that, the motion passes. Okay, moving to the regular agenda, item 3, public hearing regarding proposed tentative parcel map 5210 at 2980 Oak Street in Southport Business Park. This is Mr. Laffey's item.
Yes, good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Mr. Clerk, can you pull up the vicinity map? So this item before you tonight is for a tentative parcel map to split an approximately 9.84 acre parcel at 29 Oaks Street into 2 lots. So that is the site you see here on the screen. The property is zoned heavy industrial and it's located within Southport Industrial Park. And as you can see from the map on the screen, it's predominantly surrounded by existing industrial. Most of those properties are zoned heavy industrial. And it's also within Southport Industrial Park. The nearest residential is on the other side, on the southern side of that big building in between Ramos Drive and Southport Parkway. So the nearest residential is south of Southport Parkway. All frontage improvements are in, and the recommended conditions of approval are all standard. Staff is recommending the Planning Commission approve the requested tentative parcel map 5210, along with the standard conditions of approval, and also find that the map is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to the Class 15 categorical exemption. This concludes my report. The applicant is on the call, but they don't have a formal presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Laffey. Any questions of staff from the commissioner? Vice Chair Berliner.
All right, thank you. I'll lower my hand now. Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to confirm with you. So there's already a building there, right? It wouldn't be them tearing down a building and then adding 2 new buildings. It would just be them just building a new building next to it.
Correct. There's a an existing building, and we have plans in for the building on the southern side as well. And basically, this map would split the property into 2, right down the middle almost. And their loading dock areas would basically be there's a common driveway where the lot line would go down.
Okay, thanks. Have we opened this up yet for public hearing?
No, we have not.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Not seeing any other hands. So yeah, we'll open the public hearing for this item. And do we have any, let's see, the applicant is on the line for any questions. If commissioners have questions of the applicant, and then do we have any public commenters on this item?
No. Yeah, Mr. Benino is on the line representing the applicant in this matter, if you have questions.
Not seeing any hands.
Yeah, this is Brian Benino with Logner Mickle, represent the client. We reviewed all the conditions of approval and have take no exceptions to any of them.
Thank you, Mr. Benino. Not seeing any hands up, so I'm going to close the public hearing and take it back to the commission for deliberation.
I'll move staff recommendation.
We have a motion from Commissioner Berliner.
I'll second.
And was that Commissioner Lockhart?
Yes, Chair Sablon.
We have a second from Commissioner Lockhart. Mr. Mierswet, can you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner DeAnda?
Aye.
Commissioner Seeger?
Aye.
Commissioner Berliner,
Aye.
Commissioner Esquivel,
Aye.
Commissioner Lockhart,
Aye.
Mayor Sablon.
Aye. Okay. With that, the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Bonino. Okay, with that, we'll move to item 4, the public hearing regarding proposed development agreement and conditional use permit for cannabis testing laboratory at 3971 Commerce Drive. This is Mr. Hardy.
Good evening, Chair Sablon and members of the commission. Yes, tonight before you is a cannabis testing only lab at the Commerce Drive address. Similar to other cannabis projects that come before you, ordinance does require a use permit, approval from the commission, and a development agreement. The council to run in tandem. For the background of the commission, this is the second laboratory that has come before in the city limits, and the applicant is currently operating a Southern California facility as we speak. Some of the conditions of approval for the use permits you'll undoubtedly recognize from previous projects. No signage on the building. The transport vehicles will have unmarked sedans, no logos of any kind. Hazardous waste removal will be done by a professional, will not be open to the public. The development agreement includes revenue sharing as previous. The laboratory is at 2.5% as opposed to cultivation and manufacturing is at 5%. Again, the development agreement is only valid if the use permit is approved and remains active and vice versa. In addition to working with community development staff, both police and fire have worked with the applicant and reviewed their plans. Site visit was done with the applicant for security plan that has been submitted for review by police and ultimately will need to be approved by them prior to initiation of operations. Project is located in a light industrial zoned area of the city, surrounded by various industrial businesses that are operational currently. The project is in a multi-tenant building, looking to occupy the remaining vacant suite. To date, we have not received any public comment regarding this public notice. The applicant is on the call here. They do not have any formal presentation, but are here to answer any questions that the commission may have. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Any questions from the commissioners of staff or staff? Commissioner Steger.
Thank you, Chair Sablon. And this question is for Mr. Hardy. Specific to distribution, I know that in the development agreement, it doesn't necessarily prohibit distribution specifically, at least unless I've missed it. And so my question is this appears to be kind of a lab specific to testing cannabis only, right? And no distribution associated with the lab. And so is it necessary to amend the development agreement to include that language, or is it assumed, or do they not have? I guess I'm just looking for a little bit of clarification.
They would ultimately need to have applied for distribution. You have distinct separate state licenses for each licensed cannabis project. So we would have before you 2 use permits, 2 development agreements. By state law, you can't have a testing lab with a distribution combo type of operation. So only labs can operate independently, singularly by themselves. Can't have another license type like some of the other ones you've reviewed before that have distribution, indoor cultivation, distribution, 1 or 3 or multitude of those testing is individual only by itself. And the applicant is online, they could answer more detailed since they do currently operate a Southern California facility.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Okay.
No further questions, Chair Swan. Thank you.
Vice Chair Berliner.
Thank you, Chair. Really quick, Justin, you said that there was one applicant prior to this one for testing, to get a permit for a testing lab. What did we approve that, or was that approved by the Planning Commission?
Yes,
Because we're not going to be breaking like precedent, right?
yes, that was previously approved by the commission and ultimately by council for their development agreement.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's my only question.
And Mr. Hardy, is that, Commissioner Luck?
My question relates to the police review. In other similar projects that we reviewed, the police review had been done prior to our approval, and so I was just wondering what the timeline is for that. Would it be done before City Council approves?
They have currently submitted a plan to police. Currently, based upon what has been submitted, unless there's any recommended changes, they're comfortable with the plan that is submitted.
And like with all of our cannabis projects, when they get to the much more detailed construction drawing phase, the security plan will be refined in much more detail at that point. But we always do a preliminary review with the police on all of our cannabis projects to make sure that there's a comfort level that the necessary level of security can be achieved, particularly once they go to the construction phase. So in this case, we followed that same protocol as our previous plans, cannabis projects, and that will need to be a plan maintained in perpetuity, but it also need to be a plan that will need to be adjusted if necessary. And our police department does play fairly regular visits to our various cannabis businesses to see how they're going and to see if, make sure everything is working. And thus far, knock on wood, we have not had any significant incidents whatsoever with any of our operating cannabis businesses. And labs are probably our least concern of any of our cannabis businesses, just by the nature of it as compared to some of the manufacturing or distribution facilities that we do have in town, some of which have been operational for a few years now.
Thank you, Mr. Tilley. Thank you, Mr. Laffey.
I just had a quick question. Is the other lab that was permitted, and are they in operation right now?
I know last I knew I had signed off on the plans and they were issued permits. Don't know if they're actually operational and final yet.
Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing now. And are there any public commenters for this item?
I do see the applicant and his representative on.
And they don't have a prepared presentation. Do any of the commissioners have any questions of the applicant?
This is Myron Renee. I'm the applicant. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to consider my application. I am currently operating a cannabis laboratory in Long Beach, California, and we're looking to expand our business to West Sacramento. We currently have to send drivers, our employees and our vehicles pick up all the samples. And so we currently have to send drivers all the way up to Sacramento and north. And so it'll alleviate a great carbon footprint by being closer to a lot of our customers, as well as just give us an opportunity to expand our customer base into further Northern California.
Thank you. And Commissioner Steger, did you have your hand up, or did he answer your question?
Yeah, apologies. No additional questions. Thank you.
And then, Mr. Rone, is that how you say your last name?
Yes.
So you have to get a separate license for this facility?
Yes, each location is a new license, an entirely new process to go through the state application. So it's it's like starting brand new every time.
And do you have an idea of how long that process takes?
Unfortunately, probably longer than your process. It really depends on the state. I'm trying to get through it as quick as possible. So, my goal is to get this approved and be able to have some equipment in there where we can make sure that it works properly. And then once I have to submit data to the state and they have to approve us. And once they approve us and you simultaneously have given us approval on the city side, we have our final there, I'll get the state license. So it could be an additional 3 to 6 months.
Thank you. And I may have missed this in the staff report, but how many employees will you have there?
I will probably have around 50 50 to 70 employees, probably working across multiple shifts though, including some drivers that are out in the field. Maybe up to 100 if we fully scale it out in a couple years.
Thank you. Not seeing any hands, so go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for deliberation or motion. Commissioner Steger.
Thank you. I just wanted to pay compliment to Mr. Chili and his team for providing a very robust report. I think it was very clear, and really the only question I had was around the distribution. And so I will let Commissioner Lockhart go ask her a question or provide her comment before motioning to move the staff's recommendation forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Lockhart?
I was just simply going to thank the applicant for applying, apologize for calling Mr. Hardy Mr. Laffey, and make a motion for staff's recommendation to approve as written.
And I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Mearswick, can you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Steger?
Aye.
Commissioner Berliner?
Aye.
Commissioner Esquivel?
Aye.
Commissioner Lockhart?
Aye.
Commissioner DeAnda?
Aye.
Chair Sablon?
Aye. Okay. Thank you. With that, the motion passes. See, good luck with council, and good luck with the rest of your permitting process.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
With that, turning to administration function part 2. Any informal discussion from commissioners or secretary or staff?
I don't have anything further.
With that, anything? Okay, I think we can adjourn now.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Right.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.